Hey, what's going on, Agents for Life? Welcome to podcast number 264. Going to keep this one short and simple as I wind down the year. I've got next week, I'm going to be going through all of my numbers like I do every year and kind of crunching my ratios. I'm going to be sharing all of that with you. But this week is for the brand new agent. And maybe also for some of you who have been an agent, but kind of maybe drifted. This is a reminder of an intake form and the importance of asking all the questions on the appointment. And the reason for that is because every single prospect represents multiple potential sales. Let me see that again. Every prospect that you talk to represents, and I want you to think about it this way, represents multiple possible sales. And if you're not asking all the right questions, you're just going to make one sale or maybe even zero sales. So, as an agent, we want to see the whole picture. Okay, sometimes I'll get messages from a client or from an agent that's in a home, and it'll say, I got a 45-year-old looking for term, what's best, or something like that. And I'm like, I have no idea. Like, there's so many more things that you need to give me, so many more bits of information. I don't even know where to start unless I have the full picture. Now, it's not even just about health, you know, obvious stuff, age, height, weight, health, those things. Yes, you got to have those. But what about strategy? How much coverage do they already have? How much do they have in the way of assets? How much do they have in the way of debts and liabilities? What about their income? Okay. So you got to think outside the box. You got to look at the entire financial picture because it may be that a term is best, maybe that an IUL is best. It might be whole life. It might be an annuity. It might be indexing strategy of some kind. It might be a final expense plan that's going to be best. We don't know unless we know the full picture. So I like to ask the client, what is it that they want? What are they wanting to accomplish, right? What is it that they want this policy to do for them? And then, of course, we can make recommendations by asking a lot of questions about what they have. Only after getting the full intake do we start making recommendations. So I've got an appointment form here. This one is empty, and you can download these on the Agent Builder website. And I want you to note um, at the top, there's an area for debts. Now, this is the life insurance one. The mortgage protection one's a little bit more simplified. And here's why. I'm sorry, I just interrupted myself, but I'm going with it. All right. So hang in there with me. The mortgage protection appointment is very focused. They already have the purpose in mind. They're trying to protect the mortgage. So before you venture out into other potential sales, you want to secure that one. If you're working ethos leads, it's a little different. I'll talk about those in a second. But mortgage protection, the reason they submitted the form, called in, did whatever they did, is because they have a specific dollar amount on the line, AKA a mortgage, right? A new beautiful home that they just got. They love the home. They want to protect it. If something happens to them, they don't want the spouse or kids to be homeless. Okay, so they already have that purpose. What we do on a mortgage protection appointment, keep it simple, stay on that, get validation, right? And then just figure out like how much they need and how badly they need it, and urgency, create value, write the application. Okay, but there are additional sales. I started out with this. There are additional sales if you know how to ask. Now that you've got a customer, that's step one. Write a policy, get a customer. I made this mistake 2 weeks ago. I got really excited about a guy who wanted a whole bunch of things. And what I didn't do was boil down what do you need most, focus on that, get the sale, and then move on to the other topics. I started gathering information about all the topics of all the sales potentially. He had an IUL on his daughter that he wanted. He wanted infinite banking. He wanted an annuity. He has extra money in the bank. He's not sure what to do. So I'm putting him on the calendar. I'm talking quotes about the daughter, about him, and all this stuff. Guess what? I mean, I think he's going to do something because he's a client of mine already, but he held off. I overwhelmed him, and I realized after I did it, rookie mistake, Matthew. What are you doing? Okay. So don't make the same mistake. Find out what that one purpose is and make the sale, but gather information for all the sales. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, when you're gathering information, let's say it's a mortgage protection appointment, $200,000 loan. That's the topic, right? You have a $200,000 loan. We're going to protect that. If they're young, they're going to protect 200,000. Super easy. It's really cheap. If they're older, you might protect it at 100,000. If they're really old, 70s or 80s, you might protect 10 or 15,000 of just, 6 months of mortgage payments. You know the strategies, right? Make the sale, stay on topic. But while you're doing your intake, you're going to ask about other things. I hinted on this earlier, but let me go into detail. Do you have any other debts? Write those down. Do you have any assets? Here's a great question. If we're not able to get you coverage today, what other assets do you have in place that can act like life insurance? What else have you got? The reason why I like that question, two things that it does. Number one, it gives you more information about a potential second sale. But secondly, it really postures your product. So what that means is it's not for not everybody qualifies, right? I'm telling them already. I'm kind of planting seeds of doubt. If we don't get this, what are you going to do? What else have you got? We all want what we can't have. And if they think they can get it too easily, they're likely to walk away. So they like that. It's a little bit of a kind of a takeaway because I'm not promising them a sale. If we can't get you something, see, that's not salesy. I have a genuine interest in helping you. But if I can't, what else do you have? Let's look at the whole picture, right? People appreciate being heard. They want to know that you've listened, okay, not just age, height, weight, health, but their full financial picture as well, their objective, their goal, what they already have in place, the current life insurance, all those questions are super important because it tells the prospect you're interested in learning all about them before you start making your recommendations. So on a mortgage protection appointment, stay focused on that one sale. Don't do like me and try and get all the sales in one appointment. Focus on that one sale, but do your intake. Okay, get the full picture, all those questions, write them down. If somebody says, yeah, I've got 75,000 in the bank, not sure what to do with it, awesome, perfect. Mark it down in your notes and then get back on track to the sale. Don't stop the conversation. Start talking about annuity at that point, even though you're tempted. Get the first sale, go back for the second one after you've got a client. Okay. Secondly, where this was mortgage protection up until now. Now we're talking about ethos. If you're working ethos leads, they don't come in with a specific purpose. It might be key person insurance. It might be mortgage protection. It might be income replacement. It might be inheritance. It might be for specific debts. It might be to protect assets. If you're talking to a wealthy person that has assets, they might want to use mortgage or life insurance for asset protection. So it can be any number of things. And so with an ethos appointment, we need to start out an appointment asking them about what they're wanting this to accomplish. Find out what that is. Find out if it's a mortgage protection need. Find out if how they feel or what sparked them, the interest. What led you to fill this out? What has you looking at life insurance right now? Any question along those lines, just to find out why are we even talking? Why are we here? Okay, and then determine if you can help them. So they're different. They're different appointments. Because one already kind of has that purpose included. The other one, you got to find the purpose by asking those extra questions. I like ethos appointments because they can take me anywhere. It could be somebody taking me down the road of asset protection or more advanced market stuff or retirement solutions stuff, which I love. I love that stuff. If you're new, that might scare you a little bit because if you haven't done it yet, that might be feeling a little intimidating, right? But mortgage protection is simple, and that's why I like starting new agents there, because you already know going in the reason for why they want the coverage. So, recap, right? Stick to the form, okay? I want you filling it out, but fill it out completely. There's a place on there for what is the objective, right? What is the solution? What is their current income? Where does their money come from? How much coverage do they have? When does that coverage expire? What kind of assets do they have? Do they have any old 401k money, right? These are all questions you can ask on an intake. And the client's not wondering if you're being salesy because they know you're doing an intake. You're fact finding, right? I'm just getting to know you a little bit. So I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. It's natural, right? So that's where you can get away with it. If you ask them later, it might feel salesy because they're like, why are you asking me this now? This is an odd question right now. But in the beginning, when you're getting to know them, that's when you can get all of the questions answered without having to tip your hand and make it feel like you're being pushy or salesy or anything. I hope that makes sense. But fill out your form as completely as you can. Before you take a picture and send it up to a manager, make sure you get lots of information. Think outside the box. It's not, again, not just about health, height, weight, medications. Those are important, but that is not everything. We need to know the financial picture. Hey, we need to know their why. We need to know what they want it to do. You want really good notes, and then a manager can give you a really good answer. Okay. So that's what we're after. If you can get good at filling out that appointment form, we can get good at helping you on your appointments, closing deals. But as an agent, it's your job to do a complete and thorough intake, asking all the questions, and then prioritize. Hold back that urge to try and make 10 sales all at once. Go for the one that's the most urgent. Go for the one that's the most topical. If you're on an ethos appointment and 5 different topics come up, ask a question to prioritize that. Which one of these is the most urgent to you right now? Which one of these are you? It looks like you talked about this, and this. Which one is something that you'd like to take care of sooner than later, and which ones can go down the road a little bit? Let them tell you, and then focus on that one. Make the sale. Guess what happens when you do that? You earn their trust. Secondly, if you can get that approved, now you've got all their information for all the other applications. You've got their social and their banking information, and you've got all that critical information. So now if they say, yeah, you know what, we need to do a second one, we need to do a third, those other applications can be so much easier and so much less time consuming. They've got their guy now. They've got their gal, right? Their agent. So you can go back even a month later to do a quick review and a check-in. And that's when, or even a couple of weeks, as soon as you get the policy approved, you call them, hey, we got you approved. Now, before I let you go, let me ask, you mentioned that 75,000 in the bank. If there was a way to get a lot better growth without any risk of loss, would you want to take a look at maybe doing something different with that? If it could help you out? Can't promise you anything, but I work with some folks that do this all the time and have done this for decades. And I really feel like they could probably put that money to better use. Would you be open to taking a look? Right? That's when you ask for that second sale. You're already their agent of record now, right? You did a good job on that first one. They trust you. Now they like you. Okay. Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah, tell me about that IUL. Tell me about the annuity. Okay. So if you do this the right way, you can get not just clients or customers, but you can also get clients for life. So a customer is a one sale. It's a one-off. Somebody writes a term policy. A lot of times we're trained. Great, awesome. We move on to the next one. But a customer, a client, sorry, I get those two mixed up. But a client is when you've got a long-term relationship with somebody that has multiple products. They keep coming back. They're getting policies now from you for their children or a neighbor. They're sending you referrals. That's when you know you have much more than a customer. It's a lot easier to get customers. It takes a little more work and a little bit more intentionality to get a client for life. But those are so much more valuable. So prove your worth on that first sale. Push the rest off a little bit. Show them who you are. Win them over. Get their trust, right? And then go back for the rest later. Guys, I am so glad that you're with us. This has been a heck of a year, and we are looking ahead at 2025. It's going to be incredible. We've got some really good things going. If you're new or if you've just kind of been on the fence a little bit, I'm inviting you to jump in big because 2025, even the next few years, is going to be it's going to be historical. I'm telling you now, in the history books, this next era, the next few years, is going to be one of those sweet spots where you'll either be glad you did or wish you had. So if you're on the fence, come jump in with us. We got a lot of good things going. Love to help you out. Maybe you tried it once, couldn't make it work. You know what? Let's give it a second go round. Life insurance is such a meaningful career, and there's so much. There's income to be made. There's a lifestyle to be built, agency. You can build an agency and change people's lives. You're protecting families, helping families. Such a meaningful line of work. Anyways, y'all know how passionately I feel about it, but I'm just saying, this is how you do it. It's not that hard. It's just caring for people, asking lots of questions, and being strategic about how you move forward. All right, guys, I look forward to talking to you next week as we wrap up the year. Take care.